the designation from the president.
Right. You know, sometimes we have conversations behind the scenes before we come on air. And so if you just chanced on us having a conversation, it's normal. You're still watching Prime Morning. This is the News Flash segment. And I'm here with Jerome K, who is Head of Public Affairs with COCOBOD. Good morning, Jerome.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
Great. I'm fine, thank you. And so today we want to talk about the farmer revolt, COCOBOD, debt rock cocoa industry. So as it stands now, we heard from the president in February that COCOBOD had accrued 32.5 billion Ghana cedis debt. Yes. Well, what he said was that as of the month of September, there was 9.7 billion that had to be paid, outstanding to be paid. And then they have to be paying the others. So 32.5 billion is the debt that they inherited from the previous government. We'll be talking about that. And then we also delve into what the farmers are saying. They are threatening to actually smuggle cocoa because they say that the price increment is not helping them. If they do the smuggling, they get an increment of 700 cedis more than what the government has given to them. We'll talk about that as well. So, Jerome, first of all, let me ask you how COCOBOD is doing.
Rosie, let me use this opportunity to extend my greetings to the good people of the Republic, particularly the President and then the Vice President, and also to the Chief Executive of Ghana Cocoa Board, Dr. Ransford Abbey. And let me also, in a special way, extend our greetings to, our gallant cocoa farmers across the country. Well, under the leadership of Dr. Ransford Abbey, I can only say that Cocoa Board is doing well. I say so because we are not oblivious about the fact that we came to meet a messy board. A board that is characterized by debt. As you rightly said, His Excellency the President indicated, proud to the delivery of the State of the Nation's address, we had information as to what is happening at the board. And the President also concretized it by making us know the details of it. Subsequently, the Minister of Finance also alluded to same. So yes, that is the state of Cocoa Board. But as I said, the President knowing very well that Dr. Ransford Abbey has the capability, the managerial know-how to steer the affairs of Cocoa Board. That is why he made that splendid appointment. And I have every doubt, not at all, that at the end of the 4 years, Dr. Ransford Abbey will be able to salvage the situation. So yes, that gives me inspiration. That gives you inspiration.
That's great. Now, there's an allegation that's ongoing as well that I want to ask you about the allegation, and this is coming from the former PRO for COCOBOD, Fifi Boafo. He alleges that more than 10 COCOBOD directors are earning salaries without work. Can you clarify that for us?
You see, in fact, I've read and I've also had opportunity to listen to Fifi on those said allegations. And I think that they are baseless allegations, very unfounded. And I can understand, as a politician who wants to aspire to become the member of parliament on the ticket of MPP, you shouldn't engage in some of this thing. You thinking that it will spare you to relevance as far as politics is concerned. But if you want to engage in something that will give you political prominence or relevancy, then you should come out with information or issues that are very credible. Let me ask you this simple question. In an organization, since when did it become illegal or crime or even administratively erroneous for somebody to be transferred, redesignation, or reassigned? There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So I don't see the reason why Fifi and the MPP has made it a point to make any news about some of these things. And also, it is important to point out that if indeed it is administratively erroneous or crime, then they perpetrated it first. Because upon assumption of office, the then Chief Executive of Ghana Cocoa Board, together with Fifi, transferred virtually everybody from Cocoa Board, including drivers, of what benefit or sense. But because we saw that this is purely administrative, there's nothing wrong with that. Today, we are saying that Dr. Ransford Abbey has made certain transfers or redesignation, and as such, you've not heard some before. Even you, that you came to meet personnel who have contributed to making Cocoa Board a better one under Dr. Opuni, you failed to transfer them. We came in, and people who have been in the helm of affairs and Cocoa Board even owning to the tune of what? 33 billion, almost 32.5 billion. And you are telling me that if they are reassigned, that one is a crime or that one is a sin. I sit here as head of public affairs. Okay, head of public affairs, communicating the policies and programs of Cocoa Board. If the next day, Dr. Ransford Abbey so decides that, Jerome, go to the finance department, it is not wrong because I sit here as somebody who is having a finance background.
But he actually questioned why the experienced professionals are sidelined, because the expertise is needed. So why sideline them?
That's what I'm saying. That all, you see, what that he's saying is unfounded. Because if you are saying, no, nobody is sidelined. I have all the full facts and documents, which clearly say, because he is positing that people have been made even to go and sit home, do nothing, and then they are being paid. This is a baseless argument because there's no single individual from Cocoa Board. And I will not even say I challenge him, I dare him that he should prove one person who unduly has been asked to go home. There's no single person who has been asked by management to go home or anything like that.
So nobody is at home.
Nobody is
earning salary from
nobody.
All right.
Nobody.
Thank you very much for clearing that.
Nobody is at home.
Thank you so much for clearing that. Now on to our next conversation. The farmers, the increment. I know you've had a conversation with most of the farmers, right? Are they happy?
Yes. You see, being happy is relative. You understand? Because I won't sit here and then say that it is subjective because, hey, we are human and you have certain characteristics as human that even if tomorrow cocoa is being sold per bag, 100,000 Ghana cedis, at least being human, we possibly will still say that, hey, if it's sold at 110 Ghana cedis or 110,000 Ghana cedis, we would have appreciated it. So on the basis of that, it is a human characteristic which we really need to accept it. But the most important thing is for us to lay the fact bare, for people to appreciate and understand that this is it. And also juxtapose that with the promises made by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama whilst in opposition to find out if indeed he's been able to honor whatever promise that he made to the people.
So now you tell us.
Yes, so I'm going to tell you, and you will know that His Excellency the President indeed has delivered on his promise which he made to the cocoa farmer. But we can't do that by not, as it were, making some comparison, because he came to meet a previous price. You see, in setting the cocoa price, two factors play, two basic factors. And that one, irrespective of the political party or government that is in power, you would need those factors in order to determine the price of cocoa. One, the price on the international market. The price on the international market, because we do not make sale of our cocoa bean here in Ghana. We export it, and the buyers or what have you determine the price on the international market. But
Jerome will agree that on the international market there's been an increment, huge increment, right?
Huge increment. So what is the increment?
62% pump in global market.
What is the increment?
I just gave to you 62% pump in global market, and for the farmers in Ghana, the farmer increased by 4%.
You see, the farmer doesn't understand that 62% that you are.
But you gave them 4%, right?
Hold on.
Okay.
So you are saying that an increment of 62%. 62% of what?
For the 4% increase in Ghana, it's 4% increase, which comes to 3,228 per 64 kilograms a bag.
Don't worry. You see, I'm not running away from anything.
Okay.
Because I think I have every answer to whatever that you are going to. So I was just dealing with the height on the international market, which you are making reference to, so that we will situate it or contextualize it in such a manner that people would understand or appreciate.
That's why you're here. So break it down to them.
So yes, so no problem. Let me. You see, remember that prior to the 2024 elections, some senior members in the NDC made certain commentaries, and in fact, told the government at the time that cocoa price could be sold at a certain price, 6,000, and so you had some. And that has been the argument that we are dealing with today, that you did make a promise to the cocoa farmers that indeed if you were to be in government as at that time, you're going to pay 6,000. So what has changed? So you should pay the 6,000. We are not running away from that, because if we do, then we have no credibility. But because we have credibility, we are standing by and we will let the ordinary Ghanaian know that indeed we had every right or basis for saying that as at that time. Look, from January 2024, we had a cocoa price on the international market hovering around the 2,000s, okay, around the 2,600, 2,500. But interestingly, the price increased from that 2,600 to about $12,000 per ton, about $12,000 per ton. So you can even charge your producers to find out how much was a ton of cocoa on the international market as at November and then what? December. You understand?
So we have the things here. So crop per year, 2024 to 2025, FOB, that is $4,450 LID for $400, gross FOB $4,850. The exchange rate as of that time at 16.4. The gross FOB for Ghana cedis, that's 79,540. Producer price per ton 49,600.
Okay, so
yes.
So per this information, I was talking about the two most important factors in the determination of the cocoa price.
Right.
So you could see on the international market. So that is what you see, the FOB. That's the free on board. All right.
Yes.
That's the free on board, and also you come to the exchange rate.
Yeah.
Which is extremely important in the determination of what the cocoa price. So what happens in the determination is that always we make considerations to the price on the international market, and that was what I was explaining to you that. Prior to, or even in 2024, 2025, the price has increased from the 2,500 up to $12,000, all right? $12,000 per ton. Now, I was challenging, or I was making you tell your people that they should even Google to find out or fact check if I am wrong or not. We had it about 11,600, that's at November and then December. That is where the Honorable Atofo and Honorable Eric Opoku came out to say that, look, we are not saying that you should use the 12,000. We are not saying you should use 11,000, 10,000, 9,000. But at least, looking at the average where the price has moved from, you can even peg that or declare an FOB of maybe $8,000. The $8,000 isn't what you are going to give to the farmer. The $8,000 isn't what you are going to give to the farmer. But instead, you are going to give the farmer a certain percentage out of what? The 8,000 that you have declared or achieved as your FOB. And even if you were to give 70% of it to the cocoa farmer would have had about $5,600 because 70% of the 8,000 is going to amount to about $5,600. And that's at that time.
Yes.
And that's at that time. Because of the exchange rate being at 16, the farmer was going to get an equivalent in Ghana cedis, 5,600 Ghana cedis. So that was the main reason or the basis for which the honorable minister, the ministers or MPs at that time were making the call that at least
70% increment.
At least you could have given them this amount. They had every justification or reason for them to say that. But today, the factors are not the same. Because I've told you, these factors are constant. There's nobody can debunk the fact that you need these two factors in order to make the determination of the price. But I just want to focus on this particular one.
No, so Jerome, let me find out from you. You told cocoa farmers that at that time it should be increased to 70%. This is what they understood.
We were not even saying 70%.
No, wait.
We didn't just say. I just want you.
No, but it's there. You said you promised 70% of World Bank market price.
I even want to help you.
That was a promise that
I even want to help you.
Don't help me. So that was a promise that was given. However, after this, when you came into power, this is what the farmers are saying, that the promise hasn't been honored. The farmers are saying that if you take a look at insecticide price has gone up. If you take a look at the rental of, the equipment on daily basis, it's gone up. So for them, they feel that if even you can't give them that price, because maybe they didn't understand the breakdown that you're given this morning, can you give them more? Because if they look at smuggling it, they are going to get 700 cedis more of what you have given them, which is the 3,228. They will get an increment of 700 added on. So what can you do about it?
You see, if we really want our lovely viewers to understand, we need not jump the processes, because if we are to jump and come to this question and answer it, possibly somebody will not follow the conversation. But that's why I was just averting your mind to the fact that we, as at that time, they don't even just promise, in respect of what the MPP were talking about, we were talking about even making them pay 6,000. And I've established that fact that we indeed say that we stood by it, and we had every reason or justification for us to opine or propose that at least such an amount could be paid. Because we were basing our argument based on the factors in the determination of what the cocoa price. And there is no elements in the MPP who would say that indeed the factors as at that time were not favorable for that increment that the NDC was championing as at that time. There is no honest person in MPP who can come and say what otherwise. So at the time, that MPP was setting the price, which we told them that you could have even pegged it around 8,000. Do you know what they declared to the farmer? In fact, all Ghanaians, they declared an amount of 4,850. And if your producers can project, they give an amount of 4,850 out of the 12, 11, 10, 9, 8,000 that we were talking about. They gave only 2024. 4,008. Yes, I'm coming the rose.
Unfortunately, because of time, it's a live show. So 7 months down the line, yes. Let's talk about our declaration.
So 7 months down the line, 7 months down the line, you have a government under the supervision of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Cocoa Board headed by Dr. Ransford Abbey. We come and the price has fallen from that 11,000 to 12,000 to what's around 8,200 on the average. From January up to August, the time that the price was set. But the president declared an FOB of what? 7,200. So do you know what has happened? What has happened is that when the price was hovering around 12,000, they gave an FOB of 4,850. But today, about 4,000 difference. But the president has declared what? Has declared 7,200, which even is much more. So somebody who is getting lesser is even giving much more than what the MPP was giving.
So you are using this based on our exchange rates?
No, not. I'm even coming to our exchange rate. I'm using this based on the international what? Market price. All right, international market. Now, out of this 4,850 in 2024, the MPP gave 64%. 64%. Amounting to $3,100 per ton. And that's what you see there. And then you multiply this by your exchange rate and you get a 49,600. And then you divide it by 16 because a ton of cocoa, all right, is made up of what? 16 bags.
Yeah.
So if you want to know the price per bag, then you have to divide whatever amount that you have by 16. And that would also give you what? 3,100. It's giving you that because you multiply by an exchange rate of 16. Coincidentally, you also divide it by what? 16, because 16 constitutes what? A ton. And that is how come the $3,100 per ton is same in equivalent term in Ghana cedis. But today, President Mahama getting less, declaring 7,200, decides to honor his promise of 70%. And when you do the arithmetic, 70% of 7,200 is 5,000 and what? 5,040.
All right.
So it means that His Excellency the President has honored the 70% promise of the FOB that he did say. Now, the 5,040 is in dollar term per ton, but we don't need that as Ghanaians.
But Jerome, are you not worried that the farmers are threatening to smuggle the cocoa? Because this is one of the reasons why we are in so much debt. Yeah,
that is why I told you that it is an innate characteristic of every human being. Okay, that even if we are being given this amount, but if the farmer is being made to understand, that ab initio, the president has indeed honored his promise of what? The 70%. The farmer will know that, oh, okay, the president says he's going to give 70%, and he has indeed given what? A 70% of what he did promise. 2, what is making the farmers not see, all right, an increment that much is that if President Mahama was incompetent in managing the economy, whereby we would have kept the exchange rate at 16, then it means that per this 70% of the 7,200, amounting to $5,040, would have been same in Ghana cedis, where the farmer would have had about 5,040 Ghana cedis.
Fantastic. Now, what plans do you have in order to let the farmers understand this? Do you have community engagement? What are you going to do? Because once they start smuggling, there's no going back.
You see, yes, we have community engagement that we're making with the farmers. And we are also using your medium because you've offered this platform for us to communicate to our farmers and other stakeholders in the cocoa sector as well. So we are doing everything possible just for them to appreciate or understand what goes into it. But you shouldn't forget that we are in a sector, all right, which is characterized by politics, and we can never do away with politics because, hey, the opposition thinks that if they will come back to power, then they have to indeed, based on the emotions and sentiments coming out of what the cocoa issues and all. So I understand the politics in there. And I strongly believe that there are people or there are elements in the NPP who are fueling some of these things. But when you speak to the ordinary cocoa farmer and ask the cocoa farmer that indeed, do you appreciate the president honoring the 70% FOB that he did? The person who said yes. But because of how competent the president has been with managing our city, that is why the cocoa farmer is not possibly seeing what an increment that he should see. And I did indicate
he feels he should.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I did indicate that if the exchange rate remained constant,
right,
16 cedis, then the 5,040 given to the cocoa farmer as the 70% would have been 5,040 in CD equivalent,
instead of the 3,220.
But you see,
right?
I even want to address the issue of what the 128, which the NPP are saying that it is a paltry 4%, and what they are doing, what they are doing uncleverly, they are doing is that they are looking at the price that they gave as at the 2024-2025, and then how much you are given. And they are saying that we have increased by 4%. And if this one, your producer can project the document that we have, everybody will see how wicked MPP had been from 2017 to 2018.
Currently, you are in government, so let's stick to you.
Yes, stick to me. No, so I just want to...
project it. Yes, I just want to find out from you, what concrete measures is Cocoa Board putting in place for the farmers to feel the increment? Because they need to feel the increment so they don't smuggle. So
we have motivating factors, because we believe that if the farmers will be happy, we need to incentivize or motivate the farmers. Now, increasing their farm gate price is one of the ways to motivate them. Additionally, giving them other subsidy and other interventions like what the president made the finance minister announce are also factors or interventions which we use to motivate the cocoa farmer. So today, the president is saying that irrespective of whatever amount or increment that you have, I don't want you to spend a dime. I don't want you to spend a dime in the purchase of a fertilizer. And if you have an acre of cocoa farm, you need not less than 3 bags of fertilizer in order to apply. So if you are buying a bag of fertilizer for like 500 Ghana cedis, and then the president is saying that the 3 bags that you need, you are not going to pay for it, it means that the president has given you an amount or savings of 1,500 Ghana cedis. So imagine somebody with about 10 acres of cocoa farm. The president automatically is making you save about 15,000 Ghana cedis. So you are not going to spend a dime. Also, the president is saying that you will be buying a spraying machine because you use spraying machine in our activities and all that. He said, no, you shouldn't use some of your resources or money to buy. I'm going to buy and then supply to you for free. And another important thing is that apart from the fertilizer, we apply fungicides and then insecticides, which you said the prices are on the high side. The president is saying that no, you are not going to pay any for that.
No more 150 cities.
No, so we are going to do a supply, insecticide and then the fungicides for you for free.
What about the rental of the equipment?
Which equipment?
the equipment they use on their farm.
So I told you that the spraying machine is one of the equipment that they use.
Let's talk a bit about
most important.
Yes,
most
you
important.
want to go back.
I just want to go back here. So see what happened. 2016, 2017. It was under the regime of President Mahama.
Right.
All right. Under the regime of President Mahama. Because should the NDC leave office, all right, it may be some 30 years to come or whatever. Should we leave office, the cocoa price, the current year, and then the next year, that is what is applied. So 2016, 2017, President Mahama was in office, and he gave 475 to the cocoa farmer. And then the free on board, that is the FOB, was 2,950. When it came to 2017, 2018, it was under the regime of President Akufo-Addo. There was no increment. Okay, there was no increment. The price was kept at what? 475. No increment. Do you know what brought about the no increment? What brought about it was that, look, the price had moved from 2,950 to 2,080. Okay, that constituted the what? The no increment.
All right, Jerome.
But interestingly, exchange rates had even done what? Had even gone up. But the president said, no, irrespective of that, I'm not going to increase. But today, under President Mahama, we have had a drop of about $4,000. You cannot say that a drop of $870 is same as what? About $4,000. $4,000 and also an exchange rate, our city being buoyant as against what? The dollar. Yet, the president was able to declare an FOB of what? 7,200, which is far better and more than the 4,800 given under what? Under the NPP. Okay, so when I sit and I hear an NPP person speak, all right, with this audacity, I just begin to ask myself questions that you've been very wicked and insensitive to the cocoa farmer.
Time is not on
but you peddle falsehood and say that.
What you have to do right now, as Cocoa Board, is to make sure that the farmers feel the increment in their pockets. Maybe, with the incentives you say you are going to bring on board for them, it's a good initiative. Engaging community engagement is a good one as well. Maybe engaging some microfinance also to help them, with their farming and everything. It will help as well. So thank you so much for being here.
So let me tell you.
Yes.
With all this that you've said, indeed, if I should tell you the fantastic policies or ideas that the new chief executive, Dr. Ransford Abbey, has to resuscitate the dying cocoa industry that we inherited, you'll be marveled. So we are going to have an interesting sector. We are going to have a very beautiful and attractive sector, which I'm sure that you jettison your profession now and come into
all right. Okay, that's fine then. Thank you so much for being here. We are grateful, Jerome. Jerome Sam is the head of public affairs with Cocoa Board, and he's explained to us why the 4% increment, although you might see it as 4% and it's little, he has told us the reason, and it's not as little as it's been projected. It's even way more than what the farmers have been experiencing in the past. And they have put certain incentives in place to make sure that the farmers feel the increment in their pocket, which is the most important thing. Thank you so much for watching a News Flash segment. Joy Prime SME Fair is also coming up, and so mark your dates because it's coming up, and during Trent will tell you more about it. But guess what? Friday, October 31st and to Sunday, November 2nd, 2025, the SMAS SME Fair is coming up. It's all about don't call me the prizes. You have to say, woo, whether you are a business owner, that's an SME business owner, a startup, or just passionate about the future of Business Africa, this is what you need, and this is where you need to be. Now, 3 power-packed of exhibitions and networking with over 150 SMEs and startup ranging from food, textiles, fashion, consumers, everything you could think of, electricals, all of that, everything will be there. Furniture, car, what are you looking for? All of that will be under one roof during this SME fair. So make sure that you are there because everything will be discounted. Be a part of this extraordinary musical-driven event on October 31st to November 2nd. And this is from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. each day. The venue is at the Marina Park, Accra Mall, and which is on the Spaintex Road. So if you want to register, you can actually call us on 050-023-8383, 050-023-8383, or 0244-453-929, 0244-453-929, and let's have a good time